Welcome to the Startup Grind. I wanted to just talk a little bit about Startup Grind's experience and then kind of talk about Meetup's community, which is, it's really, in my opinion, is a crown jewel. When we started Startup Grind, Spencer and I, we started about 18 months ago, and we were just kind of, hey, let's get some friends together, let's do it in my office, and we probably had 10 or 12 guys and or persons there, and we'd get our friends. We had some VCs that were friends of ours. They'd come speak and talk about how they'd never invest in anything under $100 million, and everyone's just like, oh my gosh. And this dinky little office, and then we tried to manage this group of people. And so we used email, and then we used Google Groups, and then we used Google Wave, which you will laugh, but there are some cool tools there. But no one uses Google Wave. So and then we used Evite. Heaven forbid that lasted like a day. And then, we literally tried, I felt like we tried everything. There's 10 other things we tried. And then we finally found Meetup, and we had kind of figured out the format that we wanted to do. And within literally about 60 days, we had this amazing community in our office. My office is 1,000 square feet. It was chock full of people, standing room only. Who was here in that first Meetup? Raise your hand if you were here the first Meetup. That's amazing to me. Yeah, let's give these guys a round of applause. So that was a year ago, and all of those people that raised their hand, I mean, I know them all now quite well, but I didn't know any of them at the time. And that to me has always been the sweet sauce of Meetup, which we just love, and I'm happy to pay $12 a month, at 6 months at a time, is because it's worth.
I love that it's cheap. I mean,
it is cheap. It's way cheap. Yeah, I'm just joking about the price, but the community, the people that it brought in were quality, amazing people that are now my good friends, and they were people that Spencer and I would have never found otherwise, and I wonder, it's one of the few sites that I use that has at least tech sites that has a real community. And I wonder, how in the world does somebody who wants to build a community on their site, where do you even begin? How does that even start? How do you build an amazing community like Meetup? But how do you start to build something like that?
Well, I mean, there's no universal answer. You're saying generally that's sort of that cold start question.
Yeah, but specifically community, like how did you guys,
right.
Is it the Chihuahua thing? I mean, do you feel like that's what it was? Because I'm not sure that's what it was. I don't know what it is, but there's something there.
I think that word community is probably the most overused word that means either nothing or different things to everyone who hears it. And sure as hell, I wouldn't have been able to define that word, even when I set out to be in the community business. But, if there's one thing that I've learned, I saw, by the way, in your description of this event that you said we have 60 million RSVPs. We're actually coming up on 100 million RSVPs, and 10 million meetups. A big thing that I've learned about that is that, for all meetups like this are great, but there's another kind of meetup that I like better, and it is the kind that actually we know generates a real sense of community, and that is that when you guys are all in rows here and you're looking at me, and which is sort of a microcosm of the whole the 20th century as a whole, which is people looking to big media and looking to big finance and big industry and big pharma and big food, and there's kind of this like disconnection that spread throughout the 20th century, as opposed to a kind of connection where people are turned to each other. And so that may sound kind of cliched, but it's a really simple and obvious, but yet underappreciated and understood concept, which is literally people being facing each other. That the heart of the revolution of what is Facebook and Twitter is that people are turning to each other. That's what they're buying and selling from each other. They're starting to fund each other on Kickstarter, and they're teaching each other on Skillshare, and it's this turning to each other. So I would even commandeer your meetup for a minute here and make sure that. Do you mind if I do this?
Yeah. Okay.
Which is, you might be sitting. I want you to just take a minute to say hello to someone around you right now that you haven't met yet, and just say and just say why you're here, and take a minute to do that.
Great. This is better. Better coming from you.
That's community.
You know, I see my background is a gamer. Yeah. I worked at EA for 5 years. I haven't seen. This is like a gaming community, like crazy. You know, like gamers are crazy people. You know, they're awesome crazy people. They're so passionate. What's your background? What's that? How gaming? I worked at EA for 5 years. Social, you know, and I think it's because the physicality of the product. You know, I don't know, like you can actually touch the meetup. You know, you can feel it. And that's what a good brand is. I don't, you know, like you can touch a game, you can buy it at the store, and then you like tell someone you pwn them on your mic. I don't know what it is, but I don't know. That's my background on community. How long what do you think? Let him go. This is good.
So, sorry to cut you short here. I guess I should let
Scott's politely telling you to shut up. Just shut up.
Yo.
So in conclusion, it
$100 to the first person that.
I see far too many meetups where they get big like this and people shuffle in and they see the show and they shuffle out and they don't actually meet people, and that wasn't the point. What's that? Yeah. So that wasn't the point of Meetup. It's that community emerges when people are turning to each other, and it's not just like people as audience or spectator or passenger.